This podcast is supported by US Embassy Kuala Lumpur and in partnership with UCEM, IIUM and Econice.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. We are members of the Say No to Plastic online campaign. My name is Sidra.
My name is Yasmin.
My name is Jenna Sano. And as our name entails, we have come to UCEC Pledge Podcast to encourage our dear fellow listeners to reduce using plastics in their daily lives.
So now we have Hana, Yasmin and Sidra from Say No to Plastic online campaign here to share their own initiative, and I hope everyone is excited to know more about them. So when we talk about like the issue of using the plastics, what's the motive behind this campaign actually? Can you brief us a little bit?
The pledge was made in hopes of spreading awareness on plastic waste and the effect it has on the environment. We all know the effect it has on the environment, yes? It's very common. Everyone knows plastic is bad for the ocean and animals, but not many people know how to actually take action on it, especially students. There's many of us that we want to take action, but we don't know how to do it. So this pledge was made so that we can spread awareness on not only the effects of plastic, but how we can also take action on it. And it makes a bigger difference.
But yeah, I think given you are having opportunity to run your own campaign online especially, but how your opinions about students and lecturers acceptance like towards the plastic issue, like the plastic using, how actually like your thoughts lah. How they manage their own plastic consumption at university. They're aware about plastic consumption?
I think they're aware on like 50-50 basis. People are not too aware. Like they know what everyone knows. Plastic is bad. Try to consume less. Save the turtles. Use metal straws. But there's not like an increased or heightened level of knowledge of that.
So there's no like given the cafeteria like practice like bring your own container or initiative to start their own campaign?
Actually, I think our university actually did. They have done a campaign. I believe in every cafeteria, our hostel dorms cafeterias, there's a sign that says bring your own containers and everything. And from using the normal takeaway plastic containers, they've changed it to paper ones. And there was a time I believe they were no longer selling plastic water bottles. They told everyone to bring bottles, and they put a machine there that you have to use your own bottle to refill the water instead of water.
That's great though. What are your thoughts on student involvement in creating sustainable change at university, given you have managed to run a student sustainability project? So what's their acceptance and how they react towards your initiative?
In my opinion, I think this kind of project is really good because especially for us students, we don't really have experience in managing programs. Our first time, and we learned a lot in terms of like enhancing our skills, and like we gained a lot of knowledge from the beginning until the end of the program. And especially sustainability right now is like the most like hot topics. People talking about safety.
That's true.
Increase in like environment activists. So I think people who started to do this kind of sustainability projects and involve students is really good, so that younger generations, they can have they can increase their awareness and started to feel like enthusiastic in this kind of programs.
You guys mentioned that you are online campaign, right? So how you manage the campaign itself? What the mechanism of the campaign actually?
Because our pledge is collaborating with other pledge, which is Android. So we have like hybrid. Two of our programs were conducted online via Zoom, and another one was conducted physically at PPR's.
I think Jana want to say something?
Sure, Jana.
Oh yes, it's true. So our so yes, our I think the best way also for us to reach them before they're able to do events was through social media. I'm pretty sure like majority, if not I would say almost all of youth now have access to social media, especially Instagram. So that was our medium of reaching out to people. We would have our posters up there, as well as for IUM students, we're very connected on WhatsApp. So we also shared our WhatsApp posts in the WhatsApp where people got access to learn about it, and also from friends to friends to friends, and that's how we got it. I think
that's very true. I mean, you must have a strong connection if you want to promote your own project and initiative, and that's we create like a very large engagement. Actually, you guys mentioned that this initiative, like especially in sustainable aspect, is a very hot topic right now, and I think most of students really want to join, but how actually you want to attract them to actively participate your initiative?
I think to attract them to actively participate is I think it's based on the contents of the event. So let's say we had this our first project, our first event was we had a webinar. We had a speaker called Mr. Iman Aidit. Exactly. So it was nice that people are like, oh, okay, he's speaking at this event. Okay, let's see what the event is about. What is he going to detail about? And like his information was very useful. He spoke about what the damage of plastic usage is. He spoke about how we can stop it, and like what other means, how we can contact people to even help spread the awareness even more by ourselves, even if it's not just limiting to you alone. So I think that's another way. And then we had another activity where you just make people feel like, okay, because we had it during the beginning of the new year. So you make them feel like, okay, this is a new year. Let us do something positive. Let us do something that's going to help the environment. That's going to help ourselves internally. Like, you feel good that you've done something for the environment.
New year, new me, actually. All right. Okay. That's one of things, like you guys invite someone that particularly not famous. I mean, a very well known like among youth activists, especially in sustainability worlds. So I guess you guys did a very good option, and where you guys have a very well known and engaged session with the participants. And so, all right, given you have running your own project, and I think what's the project most significant accomplishment, like what's the achievement that you are very proud of during your own project? I mean, running your project, right? So mesti ada something good that you want to share with us.
I think there are a lot of things that I would love to share to people. Like the benefits of us in this is first, from the program itself. I think we had 3 sub-programs. We have the webinar, we have blogging competition, and we have community cleanup. And actually, because we did it like in a sequence, like from webinar to blogging to community cleanup. So like there were improvements that we able to learn from the first project to another and to another, and that is the most, I can say, proud, because we learn, and we can see that the community cleanup is the most successful programs out of all, because I believe that all of us are starters in managing programs. So like we get to manage the third program better from the first one.
All right.
So in terms,
can you walk me through like how you can determine the third project that you run is very successful? Like what's the make it different from the other project actually?
There was a very difference.
Oh my god. Okay. So the first one we had webinar. Actually, the webinar received a lot of participants, about 100 something.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but the problem is we didn't expect that there were we were thought of using WhatsApp groups, so that the participants, once they registered through Google Forms, they can enter the WhatsApp group, and then we can communicate with them through WhatsApp groups. But because we handled like 3 sub-programs, we afraid that the participants would be like, some people will be annoyed for having so many groups apart from projects and clubs. So we were thinking of using only email, because it's also understandable, right? Students always check their emails.
Yeah, true.
So we only depend on email for information distribution. And in the end, only like about 30 to 40 students joined the webinar, and like I was surprised, like how come? So
unfortunately, not a lot check their emails apparently.
Yeah, that's the problem. So
I see. Every project manager, they will like, we face the same problem where we thought like there's a lot of participants that join us if you take a look at the registration, but unfortunately the event day, it's like so I think that's one major problem. I mean, everyone is facing that thing right now, because someone might not check their own email, or maybe like they forget. I mean,
they forgot. Actually, before the webinar started, we have sent reminders and we have the link, but still the participants were like from 100 only 30 participants. And from there we learned, and actually at the same time when we ran this webinar, we are actually having this blogging competition at the same time, and we didn't use WhatsApp group. So like from here we understand that we need the WhatsApp group, so we use it for the next program, which is blogging competition. And also the community cleanup. But anyway, we need to still carry on with this project and just do our best. For community cleanup, not only we able to actively interacting with the students, but we can also manage problems that we thought it wasn't a problem. Transportation for students to depart from UIA to the PPR's Tiago Park. But we canceled it because we thought that the students can go on their own. But then after a while, we got to see that many participants drop out, and we asked the few participants why they drop out from the program, and they told us that they don't have transportation to go. So after that, we asked our financial controller Shahira to revise again the budget and see if we can provide the transportation. And Alhamdulillah, it turns out that we can allocate a budget for the transportation, although it was last minute, but I think from the WhatsApp group communication, it works to deal with the problem.
What else approach that you take to ensure that you met the project objective? Like based on you already explained about how difficult it is, like if you don't have good communication with participants, and you found out that develop a group WhatsApp is really one of things that really helps you guys to actually engage directly towards your participants.
I think when we talk about the approach, as we said earlier, communication between us and the participants, right? But I think on how you want the project to be successful itself, it has to be full communication between the members of the creators of the project. So like, let's say us, our group, our pledge group and everything, we had to make sure that everyone understood everyone. Like when we had to delegate work, we had to delegate it, because we learned from our first webinar. Our first webinar was like a tester of most of our things. So
it was like perfect maybe on screen. Some people
exactly. So we learned
behind the scenes was just
it was hectic. But we learned that we need to make sure we tell this person, you're gonna be in charge of this. You're gonna be in charge of this. Now that's not just like you are in charge of a general amount of things. We need to be specific about it. So even the small details that you get, they're all addressed when you're very communicating with your members. That's one. Another thing is, let's say in the way we were sharing our posters, I think the way the poster looks is what attracts the participants.
That's
Now,
true.
I'm not saying we're digital artists, but
I think not all
the way-
students are digital artists.
so you need to focus on like the keywords when you're what's gonna attract people. You like, let's say one of our events was community cleanup, right? Now we were like, oh, come join us helping a hand through the cleaning the environment. And like for our blogging, we're like, oh, this is a new year. This is something, that's good for the body, something that you
like
want.
depressing.
So we try to put it into that, like you make it a part of your New Year's resolutions. So I think it's the keywords that you use that will also help attract the participants and help you attain your objective.
I'd like to add though that one of the most important things in anything where you're trying to motivate people is a hands-on activity. That was one of the biggest benefits or like attraction points of the last thing, which was a blogging competition, the blogging trip. Yes. With the hands-on activity, people felt like, even though awareness is a big deal, like you're spreading awareness, more people are finding out about an issue. It's just like verbal. You're not doing something. And many people don't feel that they're doing enough until they're physically involved in doing something to prevent an issue. So for the blogging trip, we actually collected a lot of trash. It was very surprising because we only did it in an hour, but there was definitely 25 bags of the medium-sized trash bags,
Yeah.
the green ones.
I'm very fortunate to have this opportunity because I'm pretty sure that you learn a lot of things, and in terms not only project implementation but also you actually know how to manage your own project from the scratch, and I hope that you guys are very well equipped actually based on your own description. I think you guys can do it in the future, and I hope you guys can bring your own project to very larger scale. Do you have any intention to partnership with someone like the key figures from any stakeholders or any NGO?
At the moment, not really in terms of this project itself. It was more of a accomplishment since we just entered our second year in degree, so it's also like a new thing that we're focused on at the moment. When we were doing this project, we were first years, almost done with our first years. So at the moment, not really, but inshallah in the future we plan to do more projects and try out more things.
Thankfully, I joined this project under UCEC because from here I can see it was actually difficult to balance between studies and managing project. But if there is another opportunity, I think I'm not going to miss it. Because it was fun to have to meet you guys,
it was very eye-opening as well.
Actually, you guys can put this on your resume actually, so no worries. That's the bonus point actually. Already coming to the end, and we have one more questions. One last thing. So I think you guys can share what's your call to action to get the students and lecturers and to start their own climate action and in order to cultivate long-term awareness towards sustainability.
As everyone knows, awareness is the key. However, I believe that having small campaigns such as this one is an easy way to motivate students to do something occasionally. If we and other organizations, groups, and projects constantly have small competitions or campaigns or just maybe some road run or a small event. It doesn't take that long. It's not long term. It's just a short thing that it's a new thing. It's interesting and it's beneficial. So I might as well try it. That helps a lot in getting other people, lecturers and students. Small actions can make a big difference. I think everyone should realize that even if your action is small, for example, just start using a metal straw or a cloth bag when you do your shopping. That will affect in the long term. That will have a big effect.
I do agree. Small action can lead to a bigger impact actually. Even if you you ask your friends like, hey, come and we can start to use our container to go cafeteria and just tapao from there. No need to plastic container at all. So well, just basic small thing. If we istiqomah, we can do something like much bigger. So I think that's all. Alright, thanks for listening to UCEC Podcast. And I think before we go, we need to show some our love to say no to plastic online campaign. And I hope you guys can share your social media or website to our listeners so that they can check out your initiative in more detail.
Do check our Instagram. Like for now, we only have one Instagram account. It is say no to plastic.campaign. It is say no to plastic.campaign. And inshallah, we will try our best to add more information as we go along. Do check out and follow, and ask your friends to follow also. I think that's all.
Alright, okay, I think that's all for today's episode. Thank you so much for making your times and joining UCEC Podcast team, and I hope you have a very great session with us, and don't be shy to keep in touch with us for any future. And I think that's all. So you guys can say bye to our fellow listeners. Bye.
Thank you so much for the invite.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Bye.
Bye.